In this video, I'm going to show you how to improve your chatbot's intent classifier performance using log data from production. So in this scenario, we've got a chatbot. It's been deployed somewhere, whether it's in production or some user acceptance test environment. And we've got things that users are actually typing into the bot. And this is separate from our training exercise. And what we want to see here is we want to see how the bot performs on things that it hasn't seen before, how well it classifies user intents or user utterances into intents when it hasn't been trained on those specific user utterances. So we'll take an example here. I've got some statements that users put into my chatbots. These are extracted from the chat logs, and you can get to this format in any way. This is just a CSV file with one column, and every row is an utterance that the user typed into the bot. And you can see here I've got all sorts of questions, and what we're going to do here is we're going to provide an answer key to the chatbot, and we're going to use this in a testing phase. So for each of these statements, I need to provide what was actually said here. So this first one is a customer care. It's a redeem points. The second one is a customer care. It's a notification alerts. The third one is a store location. And the fourth one is another redeem points, it looks like. So we won't fill out this spreadsheet entirely. Will be like a cooking show. We have one that's already been completed. But a few words on how you do this exercise. So number one, you should have a team of people actually look at the utterances coming out of from the users and make sure that they actually agree on what the intent of the user is. And if a team of experts can't agree on what the statement is, then it's actually not clear enough to train your chatbot on. You only want to clear on examples that are unambiguous. Training should always be unambiguous. And additionally, you want to make sure in the utterances that you're training on that you don't have anything that's superfluous or going to be completely confusing to the chatbot. And what I mean by that is if the user said, hey, thanks for taking my chat, I need to update the email on my account. That first introduction where they said, hey, thanks for taking my chat, that doesn't help the chatbot at all. It doesn't help distinguish between any of the intents. And if our user had said something like that, we would actually omit it from the training. We want the chatbot to be able to extract the signal from the parts of the statement that are relevant. So let me go ahead and show you what our completed file looks like. So you can see this is the same file. And actually I need to add here a header row for the sake of the tool. The first column is going to be utterance. The second column is going to be golden intent. And I'm going to save this as a CSV, which it already is. And great, so we're going to configure the tool to run this test. Again, the tool we're using is the Watson Assistant Testing tool. You can find it out on GitHub. And let's set up our configuration file so that we can run this test. So it's a very similar configuration to the last time. It's the same API, the same URL, the same workspace. We're going to use a blind test this time. And we also need to specify the name of our input file. I forgot the name, so I'll go grab it here. All right. All right, and this is our file. Okay, and now just like before, now we can run the tool. And similar to last time, this tool is setting up a testing version of our workspace, and it's going to run through every single row in this training data, or in this blind data, I should call it, and it's going to make a prediction. And we're going to run a comparison then of what the bot predicts versus what it was supposed to predict. And from there, we're going to get an accuracy of our chatbot based on actual user data, be it production data or user acceptance, whatever. And this is the data, and these are the metrics we're going to use to improve our bots. So we'll take a look at this and figure out which intents users are actually using, which ones they're having trouble with, and where we need to go improve the bot. So we won't do the improvement in this video, but we'll walk you through how we do some of that analysis. So we'll give it just another minute or so to finish the blind test. Actually, while we're waiting, I can give one more piece of advice, and that's as you're building this answer key, if you find that you can't provide the answer or what the intent of an utterance was in less than 10 seconds, then that's a very good indication that it's not obvious. And again, if it's not obvious, you should leave it out of the training. We only want to train on obvious examples. And it looks like we're just about finished. Yep, here we go. So we've got pretty similar metrics to the last time. We actually build the exact same reports. Something that jumps out to me is that we've got a 67% accuracy on the blind test. This is pretty consistent with our k-folds accuracy of 65%. Again, recall on this specific test that we trained on all of our old data, which was 160 examples, and now we've tested on 200 examples. And we can start running through the same charts. So let's open up the metrics first. And we can see here that similar to the last time, we struggled a bit on redeem points and loyalty status, and that's an indication that we definitely need to work on those. We saw that in our last video that those intents were slightly confused, but we didn't want to jump ahead and fix those if it didn't turn out that users asked those kinds of questions. But it does turn out that those intents are being used, so we'll definitely want to take a look at them. We should also take a look at the confusion matrix to see if users are experiencing any of these confusions or if they're experiencing consistent confusions, because again, that's going to give us a place to augment our training. So just like the last time, anything that's off the diagonal is a potential problem. We would ideally see all black along the diagonal. Here we see there's a couple problems. Again, our redeem points has some confusions. This looks like it's with the program inquiry, which is presumably close to loyalty status. And yep, sure enough, here's loyalty status. So a couple of those intents are confused. We've also got an interesting one here about the fraudulent use and the open account. So that's one that we're definitely going to want to get fixed, because those two intents shouldn't be that close to each other. And let's look at the the overall metrics as well. All right, so just like the last time, we can start, we can look at the specific examples and we can see what was interesting about those. We'll actually do that in the next video though. So with that, I'll conclude this video.